feel like I look like Jennifer Gardner's character from 13 Going on 30. Not sure it's the right look for me. Not sure. There we go. This will just have to do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a very special TBR. One that I'm slightly afraid of. Gonna need a strong coffee for this one. Buckle up, kids, because Katie's going on a romance adventure. So if you are new to my channel, essentially back in January, I accidentally started writing a romance project that was kind of just a self-indulgent bit of fun, bit of fluff. And a friend of mine read it, and she has convinced me that I have the audacity to query it. But as someone who has read very few actual romance books in her life, as well as I haven't read an actual romance book in over a year, I figured, might as well get to know the market a little bit. So this is my TBR of romance books that I would like to read, hopefully by the time I start querying. So I guess we'll check back in August to see how this works. I have a bunch of romance books that I've picked out based on how popular they are, or if they're going to be a good comp title for my actual book. And if you are sitting in the audience and you're like, I know a great romance book, leave me your recommendations down below. You'll see kind of my tastes and what I've chosen from the books that I'm going to hopefully be reading. So, leave me similar ones to that. Without further ado, let's get into the TBR. The first book that I'm definitely going to be reading, mostly because I'm going to be buddy reading this with my good friend Miranda, and this is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. Apologies if I pronounce any of these names wrong. I don't know them. Sorry. This is an enemies to lovers sports romance. I think it might be YA. I am not entirely sure if it's YA or adult, or if it falls in the new adult category. I think it might have been self-published before it was then picked up by a traditional publisher. Regardless, it is an enemies to lovers sports romance, which is exactly what the book I'm writing is, so perfect pickup for the comp title list. However, this book is about ice skating, so mine's not about ice skating, but similar concepts going on there. There you go. The next one is yet another comp title I have, which is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This has a couple of speculative elements as well. It is a queer relationship, which fits very well into what I'm looking for when it comes to my comp titles for my own story. Plus, I've heard so many good things about Casey McQuiston's work that I am kind of excited to dive into more of the things that they have written. And One Last Stop seems like the perfect place to start because, again, it could be possibly used as a comp title. I think it would actually be great as a comp title because of the speculative element to it, and my romance book has a fantasy speculative element as well. It's not entirely contemporary. However, I've had many fights over whether it is fantasy or contemporary. I say it's contemporary because literally there's only one element that is fantastical, and that is not a fantasy book to me. So next on the list, continuing with Casey McQuiston's work, is Red, White, and Royal Blue. This is an incredibly popular book as well, so I feel like there's got to be something to it, something I can learn from it, and I'm really actually excited to read this one. I was going to read this one a couple of years ago. I actually got it out at the library on a recommendation of one of my friends who really enjoyed it, and the pandemic hit, and I was in a massive slump like everyone else on the planet, so never got around to reading it, but I hopefully will be reading it now. The next book is one that I have had on my list for quite a while. It's one I've been eyeing, and this is Boyfriend Material by Alexis. Once again, this is an adult romance. This is fake dating, which doesn't have anything to do with my book, but it is a queer romance story, and I would like to read more of those as well, just in general. Next is House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is, I believe, not quite a romance, but it does have a fantasy element to it, as well as being a queer romance. That is a book I want to be reading. I do know this author has had some problematic things in the past. Like with all of these books, actually, I'm going to be getting them from my local library, so just so you're aware, I do know this, but this is a really popular book talk book as well. People really enjoyed this book. People have loved this book, said it's really heartwarming and really hopeful, which is something that I'm looking to cultivate as someone who has primarily written grimdark fantasy for most of my life. So, writing hopeful is not really my strong suit. So, if I can learn something from this book, so be it. It's also said to be quite light and fluffy and have a lot of found family elements, which I know the found family in this is more like orphans and like their two caretakers, and my found family is more like disaster gays, but found family is found family, right? If anything has found family in it, sign me the f up. The next two are two recommendations from my very good friend Miranda, because she has spoken so highly of this author, and I have seen so much of this author. This author is the queen of contemporary romance right now, and that is Emily Henry's books, People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read. Both of these are on my TBR. I'm really excited to read these. I've seen excerpts of People We Meet on Vacation, and I think it'll be right up my alley. I'm gonna be reading those. Gotta love some good Emily Henry. Literal queen. She also suffers with migraines. I don't know why that's relevant, but I do too, so I love her Instagram. Anyway, if you've seen any of my book videos, you know that a lot of my choosing of books is based on how well I like the author, and this comes with a very high recommendation from both a personal friend as well as 90% of the internet. So, you know, if you're gonna get into reading romance, you might as well start with the master, right? And finally, the last book on my TBR is The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. I will not lie to you, I am not really looking forward to this book. I don't think it's really my cup of tea. I don't think it's really up my alley. However, Hazelwood, funny. Hazelwood is an incredibly popular author on TikTok, and she also was a fan fiction writer first. This is obviously very well known as Kylo Ren and Reylo fanfiction. So, you know, if I'm gonna learn how to change my fanfiction tones into literary tones for the publishing industry, I might as well read there. So, doing The Love Hypothesis, even though I don't really want to, but you know, it's not actually Reylo. I just have to keep telling myself it's not actually Reylo because I don't ship that. I actually anti-ship that because I do not know how anyone could ship anyone with Kylo Ren when he is literally a genocidal maniac. So, you know, do I ship people with Hitler? No, but this is not Reylo fan. I mean, it is Reylo fan fiction, but like, it's been scrubbed of the serial numbers, as I like to say. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm hopefully going to be trying to read within the next couple of months. I am really upset because I have several fantasy pre-orders that have come, specifically A Cruel and Fated Light, which is the second book. I read A Dark and Hollow Star last year and I loved it so much, but I'm just gonna have to hold that on the back burner. I also need to find my Kindle charger, I'm realizing. My Kindle, I haven't looked at my Kindle in a while because I'm a physical book girly, but I don't really see the point in me buying these extra books, personally, because what if I don't like them? And if I do like them enough, I'll just buy them later on. So I'll probably make a TBR wrap-up video with all my thoughts on these books later on. Hopefully someone hold me to that. Someone messaged me in August being like, bitch, did you read them? Did you read those books? I'm hopefully gonna be trying to get out of my reading slump. I'm hoping maybe these romances help. So I did read the entirety of the Talia Hibbert Brown Sister series when I was in a reading slump last year in June. Maybe this will help. Maybe this has come at the most opportune time, you know? Romance is beating writer's block and reading block. It's great. Someone is mowing their lawn. Luckily, this video's over. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more of my rambling face, you can subscribe. I am hopefully going to be posting more content that is actually related to the things that I'm doing. Who knows though? I would say subscribe if you want to see more content like this, but I don't post a ton of reading videos. And the reading videos I do post are more attuned to why I'm reading them in regards to writing, because this is primarily a writing channel and all I do about reading is related to writing. So, you know, I guess we'll find out what I think of these books in a couple of months. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.